Alright, legends, how is everybody doing? Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic there, guys. Even though Bitcoin is getting a little bit of a corrective move here, are we going to manage to recover? Are we going down to $65,000? There are some major levels of support that I do want to talk about. We are basically at support right now, but it does look like, guys, that we could be going to lower levels. All right, let's talk about the trading setups. Let's talk about the major important levels. What do we need to see for the price of Bitcoin to actually step into those trading setups with very good risk management? As always, legends, make sure to absolutely destroy the like button, because yesterday we were shy of 400 likes. If we do get 500 likes on this live stream and you comment down below after the live stream, there's going to be a $500 worth of Bitcoin giveaway for a lucky comment. Okay, so make sure to smash up the like button and remember to comment the video down below, okay, once the live stream is finished. Let me go quickly through the comment section. There is several scenarios. There is the scenario that I was not looking it was going to be highly probable, guys. You know that I've been bullish, and I was leaning on the side of a potential V-shaped recovery. However, there was the scenario here as well in creating a topping range. We were talking about this on a live stream just 2 days ago when we were trading during the weekend here at this $69,000 range, looking for that potential push up, all right, to that $70,100 level, having invalidation at $70,600. We might as well get the drop and come back down to test the lows from Friday beneath $68,200. We finally got that leg up, okay? We were trading here on that live stream at $69,700. And this was explained on the live stream. Why was there an invalidation here, okay, above 70,600, and why this 50% Fibonacci could actually be the resistance, and looking for this as a dead cat bounce and then look for the lows to be claimed. The setup was provided. It wasn't my favorite scenario. This was something that we talked about on the live stream. Okay, I was very much aware. I'm not saying that this was something exactly as predicted because I was bullish. However, the setup was there. The invalidation points were there. And that is what trading is all about. Trading is all about realizing where you're going to be wrong and make sure to adjust your risk. This was explained why this was an invalidation point. I did not want the price to get above $70,600 if we were going to be bearish. And that was purely based on this was the value area low of this trading range. It was the pivot low that we could count as a wave 1 here. And if this were to be a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, we did not want to get overlap of that wave 1 and get above the value area low, being the invalidation area. So we did retrace to the 50% Fibonacci when we zoom in here on the lower time frames, and it was an acceptable short setup, managing risk accordingly as we mentioned on the previous live stream. So we slightly got above that 50% Fibonacci. Your invalidation point here was above the 618. So if you did trigger that short position to come back down to claim the lows, at least the lows of the range, but overall the lows of the range just got absolutely, blast. There was a big massive blast here to the downside. There was no reaction whatsoever, because if we would have got a reaction here from the lows and maintained as support, then you would have said, okay, we've just swept the lows of the range of the weekend and we could look for that recovery. This was not the case, of course. This actually, this was at 4 o'clock in the morning. I did take most of the profits from a short at this level and just banked the rest of the profits at this range. We are holding this level as support right now. So we are going to zoom out on the higher time frames and analyze what the heck is going on. My preferred scenario, I'm going to repeat this, was actually looking for a possible V-shaped recovery, because there was the scenario that we formed 5 waves to the upside, right? Quite impulsively, and this could have been the corrective move right over here in an ABC flat, right? It was a scenario, it was a possibility that we could actually V-shape from here. But even though I've got a bullish case scenario and I've got a bearish case, we are traders. We look for good setups with good risk management, and this short position was an acceptable short with a tight invalidation, giving you a very, very good risk to reward ratio to come all the way down to these lows and possibly even lower, right? I wasn't expecting this major move down. I was actually expecting a major reaction at this zone. However, the price was just continuing to drop very early this morning, not finding any proper support and no big reclaim of levels. So we're just continuing to drop right now. And what we want to explain in this live stream is, what are the next scenarios? What are the next big major levels? I'm in a tiny long position here with stop loss beneath the low, almost got stopped out. But compared to basically the profits from the short, right? Just this is a trading setup that I took on 𝗖𝗫𝘃 here as a short position, and in a very tiny long, because if I'm very much aware of those lows being claimed, but this is like the thin line on the sand that needs to hold, because if we do not hold, I'm going to talk about some incredible support levels that will highly likely get a bounce here, all right? So this is a small position just in case the price does hold and recover, right? Stop loss would be just round about, over $150 approximately, compared to the wins here of this $900 short position. So we're managing risk accordingly. I think it's worth it. Stop loss beneath the low. I think there is a high chance that I could get stopped out from this day trade, swing trade setup right there. However, I will not be scared. There is huge major levels of support beneath us, and we need to find them. This is why we are here on the live stream. I got a nice clean chart. Make sure to pay attention in the next coming minutes, because I'm going to be providing some insane levels of support. There is 2 favorite levels that I do have beneath the $67,000. Okay, there is 2 major levels that have high probability for a quick scalp in and out, and potentially a nice day trade to swing long position, okay? Swing trade position. So make sure to pay attention, guys. This is what we do. We do mark those levels. We do mark the invalidation points. This trading setup mentioned on the, 2 days ago on the live stream was played out to perfection on the entry point at $70,150 coming down. So you can see here the risk to reward. We're going to do something similar today, so make sure to stay tuned here in the next coming minutes, because we talk about the levels, we talk about the setups, and if you do see anybody providing this on YouTube, make sure to give me his channel, because I would love somebody to provide me some good risk management setups. Would be awesome. Then, I would basically follow him. So anyway, let's dive in here through the major levels of support, guys. Can we go to lower levels? We can maintain this zone. We could actually form a higher low here, no doubt, and get a bounce. I think there is room for lower levels, right? We just basically kind of losing this high point of control from the consolidation that we've had during the last few weeks in May, right? We had a high volume node here. No major reaction. We're just dropping and dropping. And it's like, hey, if we do not hold here, then I would be expecting a major wick to the downside, okay? Now, the question is, if we move down, a lot of people are going to enter in panic mode, right? These drops, we need to be extremely cautious and we need to create a plan, right? You might think, hey, what's going on? Are we going to drop lower? Are we going to pump more? I have no idea, guys. I have no idea, but I know how to create a plan, which is going to be explained right away. So what would be the plan, right? So much of talking about plans. Tell me your plan then. This guy planning on YouTube about his trading setups on technical analysis. Tell me the plan. Well, if we do zoom in here, okay, on low, we understand this, the momentum to the upside. There's several scenarios right now, because on a lot of exchanges, we have tapped this high above $72,000, right? We have tapped it here just on Friday. So could it be that this has been a failed fifth wave, right? We've claimed the highs, failed fifth wave. We're coming down now, and we're going to create a kind of a very, very, complex corrective move, either in an ABC or a WXY, and it's just going to get very, very complex right now. How low could we go? Which are the strongest levels of support is what you need to know. What are the strongest levels of support? You don't need to know anything else. Where the price could find support and where could we get that liquidity? So zooming in here, for me, I'm going to keep it extremely simple, just looking at Fibonacci. There are a few different tools, a few different levels that are telling us that the strongest support zone is around about 66,100 and 64,000, okay, 400 range. Let me quickly explain those levels, and we're going to start off with Fibonacci retracement. We got two clear pivots where we want to take a look at Fibonacci retracement, which is this one and this one, right? The lows from the 1st of May sitting at $56,550 approximately, depending on the exchange, and this low here from the 10th of May, which is sitting at $60,200. When we analyze Fibonacci from those levels, right, just super simple, super easy for anybody to follow. We got two clear pivots to the highs created from last Friday, right? And we want to see what is going on based on Fibonacci retracements. And what is really fascinating to see is that we got Fibonacci retracement confluence, which is the first one that I'm more interested in is the 382 from the pivot low of the 1st of May to the pivot high, and the 50% Fibonacci from this pivot low of the 10th of May to the high from last Friday. Clear pivots to take a look at Fibonacci. We got two fib levels that are exactly at the same level. Exactly at the same level. It is at $66,140. When we do zoom in on the chart, what do we have here, right? This is my first level that I do like for a potential sweep and a swing failure pattern, because what you need to do is be ready for that potential drop, for that potential continuation to sweep up the lows of this big range. So we got one low here from the 23rd of May, right over here. nice low. I love lows because the price likes to do is sweep up the lows and get an instant bounce. That's what I do like. It's just a simple failed breakout, swing failure pattern, liquidity grab, whatever you want to call it. It's great for the price to get a reaction and a major wick, either of a few $100 or maybe even over $1,000 of a bounce. So what is interesting about this level, like I said, is we have the 382 Fibonacci from this pivot, from the pivot here of the 1st of May, and the 50% from this pivot low. We want to be ready, and this might happen during the stream in the next coming minutes. That low over here, I love it because we have a clear wick low right there. It's just a classic level. I don't like this one too much. On some exchanges, we actually did tap this low. So I'm looking at the next low where we have Fibonacci confluence. What is interesting as well to take into consideration is the extension move from the drop of Friday. What do I mean by extension? Well, we got one extension here from the drop of Friday and the corrective move here from the last few days, topping out yesterday at $70,170. What I like to take a look at the extension levels. It's a pity that the 1-to-1 is exactly at $66,440. So could we hit the 1-to-1, just get a major sweep of this low, create a, do the 1-to-1 extension from this pivot, okay? 1-to-1 and then get an instant bounce. I think it's no doubt possible. I don't like it as much though. Just purely based, what if this is a much more aggressive, right, corrective move? We are getting, we are trying to attempt the drop right now. So I much prefer this low over here at 66,140 based on the Fibonacci retracement confluence. It could create a nice quick swing failure pattern and an instant bounce of a few $100, which I would be targeting as a take profit zone, this pivot low and the lows that are being created now, which is sitting at $66,800 approximately. That is a nice bounce of a, $400, $500, $600. This could get a major wick down and a major quick reaction. This is like for really, really pro quick traders that are just sniper trading long, stop loss beneath the low instantly to manage your risk and take advantage of that bounce. It's just a high confluence level, guys. It's just it has a high probability in getting a nice bounce. If things get aggressive, I'm not saying that level is going to get a bounce. If things get aggressive, because we could just pierce through that level with no problem, and you're like, hey, you talked about a long position here. I set some limit orders and now I got burnt. You want to really check the reaction, check the low to get instantly, right? You need to set those alerts. So you get those alerts here very close to that level at 66,200 and 66,300. Set a couple of alerts and then jump on the chart and check that reaction at that level. If we slice through down the level, that is if we do not bounce from here, right, in the next coming hours and go to much higher levels. If we do slice through the level, the next big major level, guys, is, and this is just such a great level. It's an insane level, and I would expect, there's an 80% chance of probabilities that we are going to bounce from this exact level that I'm going to provide right now on the stream. So pay attention, because I don't like going to other video updates, right? Like the live stream from a few days ago and talking about a major short trade, right? And I don't want to come out here and say, hey guys, look at this level that we mentioned 2 days ago, right? Did you get into the short trade? It was 70,140. Look at the invalidation. Look at the risk to reward. I don't want to do any of that, guys. I want you to pay attention and just not me, bragging about those setups. And I was actually bullish here. Nevertheless, the short setup was there. I was expecting the price to actually get a possible V-shaped recovery. It did not. We had a possible short trade. It happened. So we always never need to be extremely bullish when we day trading or extremely bearish. We want to take a look at shorts and longs, okay, and see the possibilities and invalidation points. So if we were to come down and slice through this level that I just mentioned at 66,140, right? There's no reaction. We drop beneath it and we just continue dropping. The next massive level, and this has to be the bouncing level, guys. This has to be the high probability bouncing level if things got aggressive. It is the 64,600 range, right? Give or take a few hundred, $100 or $200. It's a bit of a rangy level. Let me just explain this, guys. It's extremely important to understand, because I don't want to come on a live stream, in 2 days and say, guys, look, check how this played out. And I'm going to explain exactly how you need to trade this, right? When we get the Fibonacci retracements, all right, from these pivot lows, we got a high confluence Fibonacci zone. We can get some more stuff right now, okay? Because there is something curious about, this is a tool that I used to use a few years ago, and it's good for the higher time frame, and that is the anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAPs, you have it here on a tab, right? Anchored VWAP is good for higher time frame levels of support and resistance. When we get the anchored VWAP, you usually get it from a high, okay? From a high pivot or a low pivot. The highest pivot being all-time high, this anchored VWAP, and it gives you a moving average, right? A volume-weighted average price on the higher time frame zone since this peak high. That anchored VWAP is almost going to be tapped. This anchored VWAP is, it is big support level. We got beautiful bounces and beautiful rejections here. Just let me get the Fibonacci retracements out of the way, because the anchored VWAP, just so you can see how it does provide, big major resistance many times. Not always. You get resistance right there. It didn't do much here. A bit of volatility. You got a beautiful bounce exactly at the anchored VWAP here. And also resistance right there. A little bit of resistance, but this was calling for a breakout. You got a breakout and you got a bounce. You got a bounce. And then right now we're just about to tackle it. And we either slice through the level or we get a reaction. Now, we have confluence, Fibonacci confluence slightly beneath the anchored VWAP, which is that 50% and 618 from these two pivots, like I just explained the last few minutes. So yeah, no doubt that this low over here is a quick swing failure pattern, right? I'm just looking for a bounce of a few $100s. This would be more of a aggressive scalp long entry. We could just break through all of these levels and basically they're not getting any type of reaction. There's also the other anchored VWAP that you would get from the pivot low, right? From the 1st of May. There is that anchored VWAP as well, which is kind of in confluence with the other anchored VWAP. You got the anchored VWAP from all-time high and anchored VWAP from the low of this rally, right? From the 1st of May. They're kind of getting together. So there's a little bit of anchored VWAP confluence right there, exactly at the $66,500. So you could have a sweep of the lows here again, and just get that instant bounce. I'm really eyeing that $66,140 based on Fibonacci retracement confluence, right? From this pivot, you got the 50%, and from this pivot, you got the 382. I like it, and it's just sweeping that low. Would be great. So when we take a look at the Fibonacci retracement, the main reason why my second best level, if there's no major reaction, there's no trade to be taken, is the 64,500, 64,600 range, which is this pivot. It is the first higher low retracement from this major rally that we got here during the 16th of May. The first higher low right there, which is classic for a sweep. Usually when the price gets down to a major higher low that has not been tested, gets a major reaction. So what will likely happen, of course, is that you want the price sweeping up all of these higher lows, bringing you another $2,000 drop from current price levels. Get the drop here very aggressively, sweep up all of these higher lows, all the way up here, all the way down, sorry, to this first higher low. This first higher low right over here has incredible Fibonacci retracement confluence from the two clear pivots that we do have from the 1st of May and the 10th of May. When we get that Fibonacci to the highs created on Friday, we do have, okay, the 618 and the 50% Fibonacci, exactly where we have the low here from the major move to the upside. So I really like this level. What usually happens here and how you could create a trading plan, as you do have this higher low where we have that Fibonacci confluence right there, where we have the 61865 and the 50%, right, from the low of the 1st of May. You're looking for that sweep of the lows. You sweep this low, and I would trade it as just a general swing failure pattern. You're not interested with the price action being beneath that level, but as you get an instant recovery on the lower time frames, give or take the 3 minute, 1 minute, right? Check the reaction. As you get a recover, you do have a sniper long position, in my opinion, at that low. It's just a classic liquidity grab zone, swing failure pattern. You got a major rally and the first pullback. It's just a classic zone where you're going to get that bounce. And not only that, of course, you have incredible Fibonacci retracement confluence from the two clearest only pivots on the higher time frames, right? Which is that low from the 1st of May and the low from the 10th of May. You can see it right over there. So big major level here for the reaction and get an instant bounce. You might think, okay, so I got the entry point and I have the stop loss level, which would be getting that reaction here. I've got my stop loss as well to be below the wick that has been created, right? Give or take, we do not know how low that wick can be. If it's too low, I would just be very cautious, right? I wouldn't take that trade if we suddenly get a massive move down and then get a recovery like this. Then I would just be waiting for a range to form and come with new trading plans. But if it's a small wick, give or take a $100, $200 beneath that higher low right there, wow, you know, it's just going to be it's going to be a very likely going to get a bounce, guys. Maybe of $500 or $1,000. What I would be looking at here is really a pretty nice instant bounce to potentially $66,000. The main reason why is because we got a pretty nice gap here. There's really not much resistance or support in between this pivot and this pivot. So you're looking for that sweep of the level, and you could get a really nice bounce of, you know, $500 to $1,000 plus. I would be very much paying attention to the VWAP, but I would be overall looking at this pivot low to possibly, you know, and this one right there to be resistance, right? Because you're sweeping the lows and you're getting the instant bounce. You're just likely going to come up to these pivots, and that is a really nice move of over $1,000. I would be defensive just in case the bounce loses steam and you start going sideways and there's no major steam here. I would be very defensive with stop loss just in case the price just doesn't manage to get a much powerful bounce and it just comes back down and tests the lows. Okay, it is a zone that I would be interested overall as well for a 1-1 reaction bounce, and if you do come back down and test the lows for a double bottom swing failure pattern, just because the importance of this level based on Fibonacci retracement. When we analyze here the drop that we've had during the last few days, the market is still bullish. The market structure is still overall bullish, even though if the price starts dropping beneath $56,000, because you would just come up with the possibility that you're just forming a big major corrective wave here to then finally break out right in the next coming months. I wouldn't be too worried about it's still bullish. Now, the local bullish case scenario that this is a wave 1 over here in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are in a corrective structure right over here, and we are going to come down in a second wave to then get an explosive third wave. The major levels that we need to hold, being the first one over here, is the $64,400 level. So yeah, there's no doubt we could get a movement down here, sweep up these lows. If we do get an instant bounce from this area, it's just going to be, I would be very cautious with the price recovering here, because this has been very one wavy right there. And you would expect either something like this, or something like this, right? If you do get a recovery, I would be very, very skeptical about this bounce if we do get a strong recovery for a lower high, based on we need to form a three-wave corrective structure of some type. So if we were right now and we analyze this as an A wave, okay, and this could bottom out either here, here, or here, right? It's just very, very difficult right now. We're holding by a thread some local support levels. But if we do get that bounce, say that we get a recovery here between today and tomorrow, and we do have insane news tomorrow, right? I think the market is going to be a little bit, well, we did get quite a bit of volatility during the last 24 hours to the downside, but we got important news and we got big volatility coming tomorrow. That is without a doubt. A recovery above this lower high created from yesterday I'm going to be very, very cautious with that level. And the main reason why is because of a possibility of a three-wave corrective structure here. Okay, it's too soon. I don't see this. I don't see a V-shaped recovery. I could be completely wrong here, no doubt. But I don't see the price action in this drop getting a V-shaped recovery, getting back above $72,000. Just not yet, without forming a three-wave corrective structure of some type, right? Going aggressively to lower levels, or just basically, we're just going to have to be analyzing the situation here on how this reacts. But no doubt that the highs from yesterday is a classic level to get a swing failure pattern, guys. The price is going to get a rejection from this point. I can already tell you that. Whether it goes lower or not, once the price does recover at some point, whether it's here in the next 1 to 2 days or comes down and then goes up, this is a level of rejection. It's going to reject. It's going to reject, and you're going to get a pullback. Depending on where the low is created, you want to add that Fibonacci retracement confluence, and we'll go from there. If this were to be the low, which I believe it's not, the 𝗬cie𝗺𝗴𝗫 right now is at that level. If we were to get a much more aggressive drop, then obviously we're looking at the 7/8 Fibonacci, right? Depending if we do claim that low beneath 64,600. It's going to be very nice. It's just a classic level for a quick swing failure pattern. So anyway, let's go through the comment section. Apparently yesterday we had some of this news, and I did explain on yesterday's video live stream. We got whales opening massive long positions at $69,000. It was pretty crazy because we did have a few tweets from different people coming out like, oh my goodness, open longs at $69,000. We can see the data here. And I was talking about this. This doesn't mean absolute anything. This doesn't mean that we're going to go to all-time high. That was explained on yesterday's live stream. We got 𝗬𝗶𝘴𝗫 and BIGTIME, massive long positions entering here during, Sunday, Monday, before the market opens. And we already got a pump to $70,000. They're probably, already exiting those long setups already with that small little pump that we've had of just under $1,000. So we got the signal that people are longing here. And as soon as we claim the highs, then we're probably getting out of those long trades already, right? Billions of dollars of long positions on multiple exchanges. That does not mean you don't need to be emotionally attached to those. Oh my goodness, whales are long. We're going to go to all-time high. And that's the first thing I explained on yesterday's live stream. These guys are probably long here and they're going to exit right over here. Regardless that scenario, the short trading setup was provided on Sunday, just with a tight invalidation point at $70,150. So in a nutshell, these levels of support, right? And we just created a local swing failure pattern from that pivot low. It would be nice to get a sweep of the lows, much better sweep of these lows, to be honest. We just created right now on Bybit that swing failure pattern of those lows here, right? Getting already a bounce of $300. It's very aggressive, right? On some exchanges, we did claim that low. So the recovery might happen from this point. It was, a little bit aggressive. Right now, I was just distracted doing the analysis on here, but it's an acceptable swing failure pattern because this being a possible A wave, you know, could form a huge recovery. So you need to speculate on those long trading setups because you have clear liquidity grabs and you could get a really massive bounce, or not, maybe not, but you can be very defensive. I mean, look at this beautiful liquidity grab from the lows. You know, you could have entered here just in the last few minutes and look for the price to, you know, just basically enter right there, stop loss beneath the low. You're already making more than your stop loss here, right? If you are very aggressively entering that long position. So the main reason why this could recover is because we have dropped the last few days, and this could have been an A, B, C, right? This could be the A wave finishing at this level, and we're going to form that B wave in a nice 3-wave recovery structure in the next couple of days. So it is obviously an acceptable long position as well. Let's go through the comment section right away. Say hello to the community. Sorry about that, guys. Wanted to explain the technical analysis. A lot of people are here for Bitcoin analysis, looking at the major levels. No doubt that there would be a slight sign of strength if the price were to reclaim the value area low point of control of this consolidation, right? Point of control right now is all the way up here, but if we do take a look at the consolidation here between the 20th of May till the 3rd of June, you got that value area low and point of control of this mini range right there that we kind of wanting to lose, right? But we are maintaining a little bit of a reaction during the last few hours. So it is support, and a recovery is possible. Getting above the value area low and the point of control could provide a little sign of strength here for the next, you know, 1 to 2 days, based on a B wave move, right? I would be very, very skeptical. We're going to analyze the situation here depending on how this price action is, because if we are getting very, very choppy, you know, maybe sweeping these highs, it's just going to be very, very corrective. It all depends on how the price action reacts, because we might just get the price jumping in here, getting a V-shaped recovery, right, in the next coming hours. Unlikely to happen. Andy, do you think BIGTIME will survive? Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm going to say it's not the greatest gaming project, but it's a working project, okay? Gaming projects. Will BIGTIME survive? When we analyze BIGTIME on the chart, we can see it's at rock bottom levels. It's at the levels of October, November of 2023. And of course, it's like, I don't like this too much. You know, I don't like this too much, you might think to yourself. The classic move here of a multi-weekly consolidation is at rock bottom levels from November and October, November, December almost. You know, a sweep of those lows on BIGTIME would be kind of your trigger point, right? Get a sweep of the lows and you're creating a kind of a swing long position. Will it survive or not? But overall, this is the clear pivot, right? That could take several weeks just to sweep the low and actually recover. But that drop would still be another 20-30% if you were to sweep that low here from the 12th of April. But then you're looking at this sweep of the highs. It's just a classic chart movement. So I would be paying attention of the sweep of the lows. You're very, very close in sweeping those lows from April, and it's very likely to happen. So I would be remaining patient on BIGTIME, and that would be kind of your buying zone once you create that sweep of the lows from April, right? Keeping it simple, keeping it extremely simple. That's what the charts do. Send it lower, Andy. Via Senor, how are you doing, my brother? Much love to you. Right. Don't worry, friends. We got Relief saying price will bounce here. How do I know? Because I already closed long positions. Price always bounces after I exit. Very good one. Very, very good one. Yeah, I got stopped out from that long. Yeah, I got stopped out from the long. It did create a swing failure pattern here as we were doing, you know, basically on the live stream. I was giving the explanation. It was an acceptable re-enter, managing risk, because I mean, this would be a baby long position. This would be like an incredibly small position because if the price does manage to bounce from this point, it could get a very, very strong rally, okay, based on the drop that we've had during, between last week and today, basically, right? It would be like an extreme small position, very tight invalidation, very small capital, and the risk to reward can be huge. Because if you were to form a B wave, you would want the B wave at least to hit the 382 from this local drop. And this might be the low. You've just swept the lows here, over right there, okay, from the 31st of May, which is at 66,625, and potentially you could come all the way up to $68,623, which is the 382, which is kind of a minimum target zone here for a B wave, and usually it's in between 50% and 7.8. So yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that would have been a very acceptable long position here, as I was explaining the setups and the big major levels of support. But that was actually a very acceptable long position, and you can get stopped out all day long. I just got stopped out here from that long position because I had stop loss beneath that low, and I would have been happy to re-enter that long position. And that is, like I explained, purely based of the possibility of the price getting a recovery. Your stop loss can be extremely small, stop loss beneath the low from that wick created, and this could get a pretty nice bounce, and this could get a pretty nice relief rally, at least to the 382. You can be very defensive as you've had an epic long position. You could lower your risk with that sweep of these lows, and you're looking for the possibility of creating a B wave here, right, between today and tomorrow, if not price moving lower. But the whole point about this is knowing where to enter and knowing where to manage your risk. You can risk $10 here potentially to win 50, right? Just so you get the idea. Instead of, using $50,000 of your entire capital, you're thinking that you're going to make 200K here, and then you just get stopped out and you lose $50,000, right? Which is probably, over 50% of your trading account. You do not want to do that. You want to slowly manage your risk and consistently get into those positions. Right, let's take a look here. Legends, I plan on buying the dip, says Mac Power Thrust. Absolutely, me too. Me too. Would like to see. I'm not buying Bitcoin. It's been quite a few months that I have not been buying Bitcoin at these levels. I'm not buying Bitcoin at these current levels, to be honest. I'm happy with my Bitcoin bag. If we do get a major drop, I would be buying at lower levels. People are shitting their pants. People are shitting their pants. They are. People a little bit. When you zoom out, you can realize how this drop has been very, very small, right? Zoom out. This drop is basically nothing, right? This drop that we've had during the last 24 hours is basically a baby drop. We will still be bullish, even though the price drops to $64,400, which is a major level for a bounce. Like I explained, people are just coming here to grab the perfect information and getting out of the trade, getting out of the live stream, just wanting to know the major levels of Bitcoin, right? If we, even though the price does retrace the 7.8 Fibonacci from the pivot low of May, right? This would still be bullish. We would still want to look for short positions, guys, just like we did 2 days ago. We still want to look for short positions because when we are retracing now, we're like looking for bullish levels, and you're like, okay, this is the long. Oh, this is the next long. This is the next long, and then you start slicing through here in the next coming days. And you're like, oh my goodness, I'm just trying to long the dip and I'm getting liquidated, or I'm adding to the position. We don't do any of that, guys. We don't do any of that regarding Bitcoin. We look for the day trade setups, just like this one provided here at the beginning of the stream, right? This is a long setup, but this is not a long setup to go to all-time highs. We need to be very cautious, checking the reaction. We got a possible swing failure pattern from that level, and we got possibly a double bottom. And that is this is the moment you want to get into the long position. You will see me in a long position at these levels. depending on how the price reacts, right? One of them could turn into the swing long trade that might take several days to pick up to all-time high. Will it be this one? Will it be the first reaction, or will it be the second one as a double bottom, right? If not, break down. Always managing risk accordingly if it doesn't hold. Apple at all-time high making me bullish, says AIBZ. All right. Hey, Andy, blessings. Splash Fire. How are you doing, my brother? Much love. Capitulating the altcoins. Yeah, altcoins are not having a great time. I am... The best altcoin that I have personally analyzed, because I'm a very, very bad altcoin analyst, right? I wouldn't say I'm bad, but I'm much better on Bitcoin. But I have been analyzing very well the higher time frame scenarios since we created this third wave on Chainlink. Very classic. For me, it was very clear. Guys, we formed a third wave here and been nailing these movements on Chainlink, and actually entered a short position here on the B wave, purely based on the 618 Fibonacci, like I explained on previous videos, and the swing, and basically the swing failure pattern from this, first lower high right there that we had before getting the drop. So in that short position on Chainlink, and I am expecting lower levels. I'm expecting the lows here of April to be taken at some point in the next coming weeks. So on altcoins, I'm actually a little bit bearish on altcoins. I do see the opportunity extending to buy cheaper altcoins. This is why I'm actually in a short position here on Chainlink and expecting sub $12 potentially in the next coming weeks. Guys, if you are interested in trading, you have Bybit, which is the #1 crypto trading platform for me, okay? And if you cannot trade on Bybit and claim that insane bonus of $30,000 and 20% fee reduction, you have Bluffing and 𝗕𝗫ci, which are no KYC, meaning that just with an email and a password, you can start trade in minutes, all right? You can start trading in minutes, and you got that exclusive bonus. Bluffing has the highest bonus at the moment, which is $80,000. The more you trade, the more you deposit, the more airdrops you are going to have in your futures exchange, okay, in your futures platform. So let's continue here through the comment section and analyze some altcoins. Shall we take a look at some altcoins? DXY is actually getting an epic bounce, guys. I have been bullish on the DXY for many months now, and if DXY does continue pumping, we have incredible news coming out tomorrow. We've got inflation rate, and we have interest rate decision. We have FOMC economic projections. It's a big day tomorrow. Tomorrow's a very big day of news. And we have the Fed press conference as well. This is 10:30 UAE time. This is going to be, I'm going to do an epic live stream, a long live stream tomorrow. I think it's what we need to do based on the amount of news and volatility that we're going to have here. Anything can happen. Supposedly interest rates are not going to be cut just yet, but we do have Elizabeth Warren has sent a letter to Jerome Powell asking for rate cuts. Please, cut the rates as soon as possible, because it seems like that the economy is feeling the absolute massive pressure. So they need definitely the money printer to go on to save the economy. You're having politicians to beg the Federal Reserve to, hey, start cutting rates right now, please, based on the big pressure from the economy. So pretty crazy. Interesting times, guys, in the next coming months. The dollar index is getting a massive bounce. Like I said, as long as the dollar index is maintaining above this point of control, we had a kind of an attempt in breaking out, which failed miserably. We're maintaining uptrend structure here on the dollar index, and I've been seeing a lot of tweets of people being bearish on the dollar index, making some random pattern here that, this is bearish. We're just going to form another lower high here and come down and sweep the lows. And when you understand where the dollar index is sitting at the highest volume node from the last few years, and maintaining this uptrend and breaking the bearish market structure of lower highs, you just realize that this is more bullish than bearish, right? The uptrend is maintaining pretty strong. from 2024, right? So I think saying that the dollar index is bearish at this point until you do not break this level for a potential pullback of the uptrend structure, I think it's pretty foolish to say that the dollar index is bearish, because it's not. It's been in an uptrend since 2024. Obviously, having a bullish dollar is not good for risk on assets such as Bitcoin. So yeah, maybe the volatility can continue, guys. I don't want to get people scared, because overall I am bullish and I do see all-time highs being hit very, very soon. But yeah, Bitcoin could retrace, like I said, easily down to the low 60K levels, and we potentially still inside of this, of this fifth wave when you do count the waves from this point, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're still inside. You're still busy with the fifth wave that can be extremely explosive. So not to worry here. All of this movement to the downside is just a little bit of a pullback. Altcoins will fall below the bull market support if BTC drops hard tomorrow. Is it over? It's not over. It is over of buying expensive altcoins. That's over. It's, what's going to start is that we're going to manage to buy cheap altcoins. I am begging to get Chainlink back down beneath $12, which I think is extremely likely in the next coming weeks. I am begging for this situation. I am not going to be fearful because of this. I am actually going to buy huge amounts of Bitcoin. I will be buying a few thousand Chainlink at sub $12. I'm ready for it. This is the classic disbelief rally, wave one from the bull market. Get a nice classic shakeout in the next coming months before things get spicy to the end of the year. I'm talking about end of the year, potentially Q1 of 2025, till we start seeing the craziness, right? This is almost a year from now, right? We're talking about 8 months to 12, 8-9 months till we start Q1 of 2025, where things should start getting extremely crazy. Interest rate cuts, money printer going on like crazy. This is when the market is going to get a major rally. Before that happens, of course, we could get major dumpy action, especially if interest rates still maintain at the levels that we currently are. So expect the shakeouts and expect the some altcoins to bleed. I'm not saying that this is great levels already to DCA. I'm not DCAing on Chainlink. Unless Chainlink gets beneath $12, I'm not buying. But then you got the meme coins, of course, which is a bit of a gamble. You could get those, you can get into those meme coins that make a 5x, right, in a matter of just a couple of weeks. I'm here for the solid projects. I know the ones that are likely going to recover with high probability, such as Chainlink, and I just want to play a safe bet. I want to play a safe bet, and I'm happy with a 4-5x return, because I ain't putting $10,000 here on Chainlink, right? It's well more than that, and obviously a 4-5x is already going to give me some massive returns. So, yeah. Shall we take a look? I love Chainlink. Devolt, how are you doing, my brother? Thanks for joining the live stream. Yes, I do love Chainlink. I am a strong believer of Chainlink, that it's going to rip above all-time highs in the near future, right? Whether that's in 6 months or that is in 18 months, I don't really care. I don't really care. I'm happy for Chainlink even to go to $9-8 again. I've been holding Chainlink since $1.60. So, and I've been buying at this range, also at the $6-7 range on the consolidation. Some people are calling for an earlier top cycle. Yeah, there is a massive bearish case scenario that we cannot ignore, right? There is a Elliott wave, and it does kind of make sense, right? All of the ETFs getting approved right now. The price action, you might think, oh my goodness, I don't like this consolidation at all-time high. Everything points out that this is a reaccumulation before we get the breakout, okay? The big solid breakout, blow off top. But a lot of, there is also some bearish case scenarios. Hey, what if the big players are ready to unload here? Because a lot of the big players have been buying up Bitcoin during late 2023 and part of early 2024 are getting then much, much cheaper, and they are up over 50% and even 100%, some of them. It has been one of the best performing assets from all of those different ETFs. When we take a look at the different ETFs, right? Take a look at year-to-date performance on bond ETFs and Bitcoin ETFs. Obviously, yeah, the Bitcoin ETFs compared to the bond ETFs are extremely, extremely well more in the green than the bond ETFs, right? So yeah, it's pretty curious to see. There's a lot of big players in profits right now, and they are not used to having these huge amount of profits in a short period of time. So they definitely have the lead on basically dumping Bitcoin. They could dump Bitcoin very, very fast, guys. And the thing about, why does the market drop faster than it pumps most of the times is because who's going to be the last one taking profit, right? Will you be the last man standing when the price is at, very low levels? Are you going to be the hodler, right? That's basically going to take that potential massive crash. When you take a look at Elliott wave theory, there is that scenario that maybe there's an ABC flat going on here, right? It could definitely be a scenario. Things have to get very messy worldwide, which is definitely also a possibility, right? We are on the verge of a potential big recession. I think people that are in the crypto market space, they are hoping, such as myself, that we're kicking the can down the road for a couple of more years, give or take. Hey, why don't we extend that recession to happen in 2026 or 2027? Can we just turn on the money printer and, have a nice bull run on risk on assets? Can't we do that, please, Federal Reserve? I think it definitely can be the case. Overall, if we were to get the price of Bitcoin, and you have the bullish side effect of Bitcoin, which is it is the safe haven. It is the only solid money that exists in the world, right? Better than gold, right? We got all of this happening. But if we do have a crucial big recession, there's no doubt that Bitcoin is it's going to be dragged down, right? People are going to be worried about having money at the end of the month, right, in their bank account so they can buy food and they can, put petrol in their car. And yeah, basically they can pay their bills, right? They can pay their electric bills. They're not going to care about Bitcoin if things are going to get messy and there's a lot of people going to be losing their jobs, right? In the, give or take in the near future. Bitcoin is going to be sold because, you do not buy Bitcoin. You do not buy, food with Bitcoin. Well, maybe on some places you can flip that, but a lot of people are going to have that pressure of thinking, screw Bitcoin. I need money because I need to buy food to provide to my family. I know it's going to go up higher in the next coming years, but hey, I need to eat and I've lost my job. So screw you. I'll let you buy the Bitcoin. I'm taking profits here because I need to feed my family, right? So we need to obviously think about that. Smash up the like button if you appreciate Andy's work. 𝗬liche 𝗵𝗫𝘃. Yeah, it's just a little bit of chit chat here, but thank you very much for the support. Smash up the like button. My goodness, if we do get to 500 likes, I'm going to send you $500 worth of Bitcoin for a lucky winner that comments down below after the live stream. Can we hit 200 likes? Like button. Yeah, people are just losing major interest. People are losing interest. How are you, Faisal? I'm very good, thank you. Altcoin discount soon, says Mac Power Thrust. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Andy, I am waiting for the local 618 Fibonacci for the long. The local 618 Fibonacci for the long position is the local 618 Fibonacci from this pivot. We got that one right over here that we mentioned at the beginning of the stream that is in confluence with that higher low, which is very solid, guys. I would want to set some alerts at that level, because if we were to get a drop, you need to be ready that level is a bouncing level. Okay, when you get these drops, you need to be ready for the levels of reaction and the levels where you could consolidate, form double bottoms, a first bounce, a second bounce, That is this one right over here at 64,500. So take that level into consideration. Can't see your prices to the right. Let's go right away and put the prices to the right. My goodness. ECAM. What's going on? There we go. Yeah, so basically, thanks 𝗕𝗏𝗏 for that. Guys, check out 𝗕𝗏𝗏's content. He provides technical analysis every single day. Make sure to check him out. He's in the comment section right now. Go and check his channel out because he provides great alpha every single day regarding technical analysis. So the levels have been provided here, guys. The scenarios have been provided. I would be a little bit cautious if we would suddenly get a big bounce here before tomorrow's news news coming out, because we could see this as a 5 waves finished here and a truncated 5th wave, and we could be forming a much larger ABC or WXY here, okay, for the next coming days. So we want to be a little bit cautious, thinking that the recovery here is going to be bullish. No doubt we could go to higher levels. Clear levels that I have on the chart, guys, like I mentioned, is this pivot low, okay, at 66,140. This pivot low right over here at 64,500. And the pivot high right there just for a quick reaction, right? It's a classic level. The first high from a major drop is classic for a rejection. It happens 80% of the times, and it can give you a great trading opportunity. What do you think tomorrow will be? Rate cut or not? I don't think so, even though we are having some politicians begging for rate cuts. So we do have Elizabeth Warren saying, asking Jerome Powell to cut rates at ASAP. I don't think they could start tomorrow, maybe, but I don't think it's going to be the case, right? Till end of the year. That is my personal opinion, of course. So the money printer should be going on very aggressively in the next few months. It's going on slightly right now, but what we want to see is the recession kicking in, getting a major drop of the market, and then money printer go on, because that's how it happened back in when we take a look at the C19 crash, right? The main reason why on the C19 crash, where when we take a look at the dollar index, do you know why? Once we got the C19 crash, the dollar index absolutely rocketed. The dollar index had a huge major pump when we got the C19 crash. Do you know why? 10% pump in a matter of a few days. And it's pretty simple to understand the main reason why of this pump. It was because people needed money. People needed money. Where you're having risk on assets such as, crypto, stock markets, you're having a major collapse because people are cashing out. The dollar index is the dollar is king, basically. People want cash when there is uncertainty, and you have the dollar index with massive demand getting a major rally. And the main reason why this started collapsing after that major rally for several months, because the money printer went on. I think it was about over $9 trillion was printed in a matter of weeks since we had the C19 crash. So what is classic to see if we were to see some kind of confirmation of a recession, right? Of an economic collapse, you would get the dollar index getting a massive pump. You will get the dollar index getting a massive rally if you have a confirmation of basically a recession coming out on media. Then obviously you would expect the money printer to go on very aggressively again to get the collapse of the dollar index. And that is when you're going to get things rallying like crazy, right? This is the bull market from 2020 to 2021, right? The bottom was in March of 2020. And this whole drop on the dollar index is when we created a huge bull run on the stock market and crypto. So if there were to be a confirmation recession, that we really don't know if it would be the case, maybe by the end of the year or Q1 of 2025, there's going to be a massive shakeout if that were to be the case. And you're going to see the dollar index flying for a few days. based on the fear. People are wanting to sell all of their risk on assets and cash out because they need money to buy food. And never mind investing, I need to eat. So, you know, that's the general first effect that you have if you were to get a big major recession. However, obviously you have these guys that are coming to save and to bail out, creating big money printing activities, right? And that's when you would have the major collapse of the dollar index and risk on assets getting a major rally again, right? This is why I'm saving a lot of cash on the sidelines just for whatever could happen, you know, maybe between this year or next year. You need to be ready for these events. I was not ready enough for the event here in March of 2020 when we had a major collapse on major risk on assets, collapse of everything basically for a few weeks, bringing you an insane buying opportunity. And I want to be ready with a big stack of cash just in case that does play out. Nobody knows if that is going to happen in the next coming months or in 2027. You just need to be ready for that event to happen. So Sam Camille, how are you doing? Yo, Andy, love your streams. And also, I'm copy trading you on bluffing. And for the record, I am commented last time to after stream. Keep it up, legend. Copy trading is going to be a slow thing. It's just 0.3% in a profit. You know, it's just going to be a slow scale up. Yeah, not to worry. This is going to be something that is long term, right? Don't expect 100% gains, you know, in 2 months. It's just something that is going to scale up 5%, 10%, 15%. You know, that is my end goal, to make a nice long-term thing, steady growth, okay? Only high probability setups. So let's go right away. Thanks for the super chat, by the way, Sam. Thank you very much. 200 likes soon. Yeah, my guys, make sure to destroy the like button if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the you know, the educational parts, you know, what I am doing, what I am preparing for as well. I mean, there's no doubt. Dollar index is ripping during the last 2 days. What a recovery we had here. Dollar index looks like it wants to push to higher levels. Seems I got dry powder waiting, patient. Absolutely. We definitely need to have dry powder. I am like 60-40, 60% invested, 40%, you know, sitting on cash. I got a big stack of cash just in case, you know, I want to have a big stack, you know, to unload 20%, right, of the portfolio to say, right, I'm ready. Bring it on. The drops are to buy up, guys, and especially for the solid projects, right, such as Chainlink. You know, for me, it's pretty clear that the you know, $8 to $12 range is going to be the opportunity zone for me, as you can see on the green box. And I will be happy to get this, you know, video out in the next 12 months and say, guys, you know, just like one that we provided here in 2023, there is a video where I mentioned this scenario to do this. Get a massive breakout in the coming months from this accumulation zone. It was pretty obvious that was accumulation. So anyway, yeah, like I said, there's going to be another major opportunity, guys. We are probably entering on many altcoins the opportunity. It could get a little bit more messy. You need to be prepared for those potential drops, such as the C19 crash. A lot of altcoins get wrecked on the C19, you know, on a recession, right? Or a major event. They do drop significantly. Look at Chainlink. Chainlink got a drop of, and it was just about to break those highs, the previous highs, and it got a drop just on that event in a matter of a few days, less than 2 weeks, of 67%. You need to be prepared for any kind of collapse like this and just hold on. We do not know if any of these kind of collapses, recessions are going to happen in the next coming months or in 2027. You just need to be ready to feel the pain of that portfolio and just be ready to scoop up some more. That is what I'm going to do. If I'm going to end up broke, then I will let you know. But it's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely that is going to happen. Could it happen? Maybe yes, but you know, no doubt that these good projects, and Bitcoin obviously will not go to zero. We all know that, right? Anyway, also be buying Link at $10. Don't have this in my spot. Very nice. The one that is looking very good already at the levels that it's trading at is Polkadot. Polkadot is already at very interesting levels. Okay. I do see the sweep of the lows here from January, and I think this is just going to get a major buying zone. There's a great order block here that I think could provide insane support at the $5. Bring it on. We get Polkadot down at $5. Bring it on. This is an incredible DCAing opportunity zone. You know, if we were to get to $4, bring it on. You just need to be strong and just be patient, because when the things go, they go, right? When the things go, they go. Legends, thank you very much for joining today's live stream. Remember to smash up the like button if you want to be part of that giveaway of $500 worth of Bitcoin. Make sure to comment down below after the stream. Much appreciated. Remember, if you are interested in trading, you do have the exchanges down below. Bybit, you got 𝗕𝗫𝗃, you got incredible bonuses down below in the description. Okay, so make sure to use those links down below as you sign up. You have those incredible deposit bonuses. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.